Bonjour mesdames et messieurs, in this episode we shoot a portrait. Bonjour mesdames et messieurs and welcome to episode 81 of my photography, Lightroom and Photoshop tips. My name is Serge Ramelli. I'm a French photographer living in Paris, France, but I'm still in Los Angeles with my friends, and I thought it was a good time to show you a few tips and tricks on shooting portraits. I don't do much portraits, but I love doing them. I'm not an expert, but there's a few things which have worked for me over the time that I want to show you. First, I'm using a macro lens. It's not made for portraits, but it's a 100mm lens, 2.8. So it's a good glass, as we say in the photography nomenclature. But it's a good lens. So what I usually do is I go manual on this, and I open the lens to the max, 2.8. So 2.8, now what's happening is when you shoot portraits, that's one thing I've noticed, I try to not go so much in the sun because it makes burns on the face, which is very hard to retouch later on. If you want to make grungy looks or special effects, you need to have something that you can work with. So right now it's about 4 o'clock in LA and the sun is coming down. This is pretty bright over there. But my friend here, Jim, a beautiful model, and is here in the shade. It's a rock and roll model, and the sun is over there. I want him to be in the shade because this way his face doesn't have strange lights on. That's the first trick. Now this is a prime, meaning this is 100mm whatsoever, so I have to move my body if I want to get a proper framing. Like if I want to change the framing, I have to move actually my body. But I like that. I like this idea. I think we're getting lazy with zoom lens, because we can do anything without moving. So anyways, so I'm at 2.8. I'm going to try at 1/25th of a second, which is pretty fast. There is this rule saying that if you use a 100mm lens, your speed needs to be at least at 1/100th of a second, because it's more shaky. Longer is your lens, more blurry as your shot is going to be. So 125th is the minimum. I cannot go slower than that. If I do, I have to bring up the ISO, but I think it's going to be fine. Let's take a photo of Jim. So I'm just going to do like what we call the cowboy framing. He's looking straight at me, very handsome. Okay, and it's a bit dark for me, and I cut his hair, which is not cool, but I like how the face is well lit. So I'm going to go a bit higher up. I don't want too much space above his hair. That's just about right. Of course, I'm using autofocus to make sure he's very sharp, because 2.8 is very small depth of field, and that's what I want. I put him on the road, and that's the other trick, because anything which is behind him is pretty far away, so it's a bit blurry on the photo. And when it's blurry, it's more nice, because everything is blurry but my friend Jim. But I'll show you another trick. Now the background is kind of fine, but it's a bit dark. If I just get Jim to move a little bit, I have a little road there with some city lights. Let's try that. And I'm shooting now with the same things, and I get a complete different background. Now I don't like it so much, so I'm gonna just move around, and all I'm doing is changing the background, trying different backgrounds, and see what's going to work best for him. Because as cars comes by, background change a lot. And I'm amazed, when the background makes the photo sometimes. So sometimes also what you can do is go down and shoot him up, like from below. And this way it makes, again, a complete different background. The whole idea is you check out all the background, and you will see in the video there is a lot of different backgrounds. Let me try another one. I think this one's going to be cool. Can you try to put your arms like this? Yeah, cool. I want to make and move about 1 meter. Yeah, perfect. Okay, 1 more meter. Thank you. All right, Jim, let's try this one. Okay, that's pretty cool. A little bit further. All right, like that. And Let's change a bit the background a little bit. And one more time. The whole point is that you can take so many different type of photos just by changing the background. And what I do usually is I've always have the same setting. I'm still at 2.8 at 1.25, so I can retouch one in Lightroom and sync on all my photos and see which one's going to come out the best. So that's just some tips and tricks, and now let me show you the retouching. Alright guys, so just before we get started with the tutorial, I just want to remind you that you still have 40% off on all my training that you can find here by entering the code Christmas. And if you're interested in buying the complete package, if you want to get the best discount, you have to enter 2 discount codes, complete and then Christmas, and then you can get the whole, everything I've ever done for around $250 instead of $755. It's a special Christmas promotion. Okay, last but not least, if you want to get the raw file of what we're going to be doing now, just go to news and click on sign up and sign up to my newsletter, and you will get a link to a confidential page with all the raw files of all my podcasts. All right, so back to Lightroom. So I've imported everything in Lightroom that I've done so far, and I just want to show you also the way I work to select photos. What I do is I use on Lightroom the survey mode. So I click here to close that window, click here to close that window, and click here to close that window, just to make some space. And then what I do is I take 4 photos or like 5 photos, and I press N. Okay, oh, I have to take that out. And this is what we call the survey mode. And what I do is that whenever there's something that I don't like I don't like this one with the drink, I take it out. And it remains. This one is blurry, I can tell. I take it out. This one is blurry, I take it out. This one, I don't like his expression, I take it out. This one is kind of cool. So I'm going to give it a star of 1, which I've already done. You just click on 1, set rating to 1. Okay, and now I'm just going to take the next 5 ones, and I'm still in 5 ones, and I'm still in survey mode. This one is kind of cool. So I don't like the expression on this one. I don't like the expression on this one. This one is blurry. So yeah, this one is kind of, yeah, it's blurry. So this one is kind of cool. So I'm going to give it 1. Okay, and then I just take the next 5 ones, or 4 ones. Okay, this is blurry shot. That's the problem when you're 2.8, it's like it can get very, very fast. I don't like so much expression. This is kind of, no. Okay, I'm not going to select any on this series. So let's continue. Let's take the next 5 ones. Okay, this is kind of cool. I'm going to put 1 onto this one. Yes, this one also. This seems to be a bit blurry. Yeah, there's a camera behind this, so I'm not going to take this one. Okay, and I take the next 5 ones. And that's how I go. Okay, that's the same expression. This one is kind of blurry. This one seems to be fine, but I don't like so much his expression. Okay, I think I'm going to keep, just this one. So I press 1. And I continue. This is different framings. I've tried many things, actually, more than what you saw in the video, because I tried to do it a bit earlier. So, no, I don't like the expression. No, 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 and no. And let's just keep going. Let's just keep going on selecting photos. So, some more. This one. I think I like this one. I'm going to put 1 on this one, 1 on this one, no, and this one I'm going to take out. Okay, and I keep on going. I'm going to take this next ones. Okay, this one, I cut the hairs. This one, no, I like the lighting on this one. I'm going to put 1. This one is blurry. Taking it out. Yeah. And this one is a bit blurry, so yeah, this one has a 1. Okay, and this is when I was laying down. No, I actually don't like so much this one, so I'm gonna jump to the next 5 ones. Yeah, sometimes it comes out well, but the sky was totally burned, so it didn't come out right. Okay, I usually don't go so fast, but that's just to give you an idea. Okay, this one I'm gonna put a 1 onto, and this one, no. Yeah. This one, maybe I'm going to put a 1 onto it. So I'm just putting 1s on, and the last one is this one. Yeah, okay. So to go out of the survey mode, you just click on the full screen mode here. So now that I've put 1 star on anything that I think is kind of cool, what I do is I do a filter here. You have to make sure that this is on. So just press 1 star, and I've only got the 1 star now. And then I can do the same thing. I can fine tune. I can select 5, press N, and okay, which one for me is the best out of this series? For me, it's this one. So I'm going to press 2. I'm going to give it 2. Then it takes the next 5 ones. Okay, which one is the best of that series? You know, I think it's going to be yeah, this one probably. I'm going to give it a 2, and then which one is the best of that series? And I'm going to give it, yeah, this one is kind of cool. It's dynamic. He's laughing. It's kind of cool. Okay, and the next 5 ones, which one I'm going to give it to? Yeah, I kind of like this one. So I'm going to give 2 to this one and 2 to this one. Okay, and then this last 2, I'm not going to give it 2. Okay, now I can filter with 2s, and I've got now 5 shots, which for me are really the best shots. And which one am I going to retouch now? I think I'm going to go for, yeah, probably this one. And I'm going to put 3 star on it. And I'm going to take this one and click on it. And now I can retouch it. Usually when I do portraits, there's not much retouching you can do on portraits in Lightroom. Of course, you can, you know, make the eyes a bit, you know, with some clarity. But I like to use some of my presets. So let me go into the develop menu. I like to go on some of my presets. And so if you didn't check out, but on my website, let me show you, I'm setting presets. And I have some pretty amazing, I mean, I think they're amazing. I'm sorry. The presets, which is here, Lightroom preset. One of them is called Portrait. And that's what I'm going to be using. So what I do is I'm going to go to this. This is the Portrait collection. So I have fashion, portrait. Let me check on fashion, cold color interiors. And I'm just checking, what would look cool on that photo as a starting point, I like that. Daylight one, I like that. It's like desaturated. And yeah, maybe I'm going to add a bit more contrast to this one, just slightly, But voila, that's something, that's my process, and that's the portrait I would do. I didn't want to go so much into retouching. It was more about like shooting the shooting process and this idea that when you change background, you get a complete different photo. You just have to move your body around and use this era was not necessarily nice, but with a swallow depth of field, 2.8 and 100 millimeter, this micro lens, so this 17-200 type of lens, gives you this very blurry background, and I love that. I think it makes the person stand out, and it's a good way to make portraits. I mean, you probably didn't learn much if you're an expert in portraits, but that's definitely something I'm not an expert, but voila, that's how I do it. Okay, so thank you very much, and I will see you in the next episodes. Okay guys, I hope you liked that episode on tips and tricks on portraits and that you learned a couple of things. Check out my 40% for Christmas. It also helps support this podcast if you purchase any course. Thank you very much for your help and your support, and don't forget to leave me a little comment on YouTube to tell me what you liked about that episode and if you have any suggestions for future episodes. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next episode.